couple people have sent this to me. This is a video from Optimus. I don't know why specifically this video, but hey, listen, it's called fan service, fellas. It's about EDP. It says people are happy that EDP445 might die, but hey, everybody goes one day. Am I right? Let's see what we got here.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about EDP445 once again, because some pretty major news has hit the internet, and I feel like a lot of people have...
Okay, what does it say? For anyone who sees this, Optimus is only following news and other outlets. Information is not guaranteed to be 100% correct. However, he seems to be very organized, intelligent, and proper when researching and writing script ideas. Oh, this is the comment of the day. It's a little weird. Okay. Some people seem to not realize the type of honesty is hard to find on the internet. Much better about mainstream media who have agendas that they need to push. Thank you so much, Optimist. Okay, cool. I'll say one thing. It's always nice to acknowledge the positivity that your community gives you, rather than the negativity. You know, that's a good thing to engage in is, you know, rather than responding to some of the hatred, it's good to respond to some of the positivity. You know, engage in a positive feedback loop with your audience. So, okay, I can respect that.
People haven't even really, addressed it yet. That is, if people even really know about it. This
Yeah, I saw that he had some kind of issue when I was watching that whole thing on the last EDP update.
might even still just be kind of underground, not really known, but I saw a video on Twitter yesterday that basically confirmed some news about EDP445 directly from the Cupcake Eater himself, and it's some pretty bad news for him, right? And basically the news is EDP445 is suffering from stage 5 kidney failure.
These kids are always giving him a problem, huh? Okay.
So obviously,
hey, well, God exists, I guess. Hey guys, God exists. Am I right? Am I right?
EDP445 has become an immensely controversial figure on the internet after basically ousting himself as a pedophile in a video that hit the internet last year, and since then has doubled, tripled, even quadrupled down on his actions, it seems like, and has tried to continually make a career comeback online. So obviously he's become probably one of the most hated people on the internet, right? Like, whenever his name is brought up, whenever there's any news surrounding EDP445, pretty much everybody is quick to remind everyone that, well, this guy is essentially a pedo and he deserves no sympathy, deserves no attention, and at the end of the day is just kind of a scumbag, right?
Yeah, I mean, this happened like 6 times. Like, you know, this isn't the first time he got caught talking to people of an inappropriate age. It was unfortunate that the last issue that happened that came forward, which I covered, I watched through like the whole interview with the girl and everything. It was unfortunate because he's been doing he's running the rounds. There's a video here, EDP's interview with Das Gastom. They basically gave him a platform to lie about the situation. Then there's this one though, the newest thing, the new allegations. It's unfortunate because the girl who comes forward, he has the timestamps to prove it. They started talking when she was 18 and they didn't even talk one-on-one. And then she was like, "Oh, EDP, I want to do this." And it's one of those things where, and I made this point before, where what ends up happening here is that this one is verifiably not inappropriate. What happens though is that there are new people on the internet every day, and these people weren't here last year engaging in the EDP stuff. So they hear allegations secondhand, but they're not going to go watch 2 hours worth of content. You can go find it. I've talked about it before. A lot of people have. They're not going to do that, though. They're not going to engage in that. And so what they hear is that EDP did a bad thing with a young person. That's all they're going to hear. And then they're going to come and see this new thing. And they're going to see an 18-year-old that EDP was talking to. Like, yeah, he's an older guy, but at the end of the day, it's legal. And now they're going to go, oh, this one is obviously stupid. People are trying to make it seem like he's being a predator in this instance, but he's not. So maybe the other instance isn't real. That's how people's brains work. So, you know, especially now with him on TikTok, which was another unfortunate one. When EDP came back, well, somebody else made a TikTok for EDP that was fake. It was verifiably fake. You could have looked through the app. His actual Instagram wasn't linked. It was very clear that it was some other random person that was trying to get you to follow them. A lot of bigger creators called that TikTok out. And then when EDP made his own TikTok like a month later, nobody called it out because it wasn't relevant news anymore. They had gotten it wrong. A lot of big creators did this issue. You know what I mean? And then nobody really called that out. And now he's got this relatively large TikTok going on. And he's able to, it is what it is. I don't know. He just shouldn't be on social media because he's shown that he's proved that he can't use his platform correctly. So I guess God decided to intervene with this situation here, you know?
He really hasn't been able to escape the allegations. He hasn't really been able to kind of get away from everything that was going on.
He could get offline, get a job, and go to a therapist. And maybe he can get redemption for himself in his life. But it's not like our responsibility to be like, yeah, you know what? He's reformed. You can't really, like, I mean, come on. You can't come back from something like that. Especially since you're not being apologetic. You know what I mean? Especially since it wasn't the first time that he was like caught in some capacity talking to young people. So it's like, it's something that constantly happens over and over again. You know?
On after that all broke down, and for the most part his online presence has shrunk down pretty significantly. He's lost pretty much his entire career, but he did take to Instagram, where apparently he has an account, and he was on Instagram.
And he has a TikTok as well, yeah. Where he's been going live. So
Instagram Live, you know, like just I guess.
Isn't that crazy? Papa Gut's banned off there for being too toxic, but EDP is just chilling. You know? I mean, I have an account, I just don't care enough about making stuff, but
chatting with the people who follow him and whatnot, and he ended up breaking this news to everybody here.
Yeah, I actually do have kidney failure.
Sorry, it's not funny. Okay, cool.
Stage 5.
Nice.
Now, for those of you who don't know,
let's see. Google, what's the worst stage of kidney failure? Stage 4. Wait, what? How many stages are there of kidney failure? Oh, 5 is the last one. Nice. It's probably because he's morbidly obese, so I got to get on my grind to not be fat. But okay. I mean, like, listen, I would never waste my karma on wishing anything ill upon EDP. But the fact that it's happening is not sad news to me. I mean, this guy's a relentless scum fuck. Like, who cares? I don't care. Like, okay.
Stage 5 kidney failure is a very serious thing to go through. I mean, this is one of your most important organs suffering from failure. There are things that can be done to try and address it, but it's pretty much like last-ditch, last resort kind of efforts, you know? It's not like, you know, you can't just go to the doctor and get prescribed a medicine and it goes away kind of thing, right? It takes a very significant amount of treatment. You
probably got to go on dialysis, and I had an aunt who passed to huge kidney problems. It was, you know, unfortunate for her, but you know, she struggled a lot with a lot of stuff. So
have to basically make a major life adjustment, and it's pretty costly from what I understand, especially here in the United States, to deal with something like this, right? So yeah, EDP445 is struggling with.
Hey, well, there's your reason not to have universal health care, am I right?
Stage 5 kidney failure, and well, there's a pretty divided reaction online. Now, when I say divided, I don't want to say it's like a 50-50 division. It's more of like a 90-10. On one hand, you have people who say things like, oh, I wouldn't wish death on anybody. He doesn't really deserve to go through something like this.
Well, he deserves to go through it. I wouldn't wish it upon him because, again, I wouldn't want to waste my own karma, but okay, who cares?
And so traumatic, right? And then on the other hand, you have people
he ate too many cupcakes for sure,
who say, you know what, fuck this guy. He's a pedophile. He doesn't care about the harm that he's caused other people and the insane actions that he's taken. Why should we care about him, right? So in this video, I want to talk about what exactly is going on with the stage 5 kidney disease, what the outlook could really be for EDP445 here, because it seems
death, I guess, or what?
Seems like a lot of people are just automatically assuming that he's going to die, and it seems like a lot of people think he's going to die like within the next couple weeks. But also,
sorry, I don't hope anything. I'm kidding.
So on top of that, we're going to talk about, is EDP445 lying about this for clout, and just kind of discussing the situation in general itself.
I mean, you couldn't really prove that. It's very speculative.
So stage 5 kidney disease, there's really only 2 ways out of it. At least from the research that I've done online, there's only really 2 ways to survive something like this. And even then, one of the options only really kind of extends your lifespan. It doesn't really like save your life. It just,
I mean, that's just everything, right?
kind of lets you go on a little bit longer. So going forward, there's really only 2 options for EDP445 to get through this stage 5 kidney disease, right?
He would have to lose a significant amount of weight. That's what he would really have to do.
Either A, he can go on dialysis, which from what I've researched will expand your lifespan on average maybe 5 to 10 years, could be less, could be more. There's been people who've lived a few decades even with stage 5.
Dialysis is basically just replacing the process that your kidneys go through, which is to filter out the bad shit in your body. It filters all the bad stuff. And then you got to go to it's usually like 3 or 4 times a week that you got to get dialysis.
5 kidney failure, living on dialysis, but obviously EDP445 is not in the best of health anyway. So I'm going to go ahead and just assume that that wouldn't be the case, right? So
well, they wouldn't deny him that treatment just because he's fat. They shouldn't. Oh, I could turn myself up. I don't know why I'm low. Okay.
If he makes it to like the average, 5 to 10 more years. So it's not like he's going to be dead within like the next 2 days, unless he just does literally nothing to treat it or like try and solve it. But that's one option. Or number 2, he could have a kidney transplant. Now the issue with this,
I don't even know if they put him on the list because he's so unhealthy. So, but they shouldn't put him on the list. Not even from the whole accusation shit or the pedophile shit. just because he's so high risk. It would be a waste of a fucking kidney.
What I know is that there's usually very long wait lists when it comes to organ transplants. There's a lot of people.
Yeah, my aunt got her kidney before she passed from my uncle. That's usually how they'll do it. So,
who need new kidneys.
All he really needs to do is find a child, take their kidneys. He seems to be pretty good at that. So
and whatnot for all kinds of different reasons. And there's usually like a pretty long wait list that you have to enter yourself onto in order to end up getting a healthy kidney that someone will donate to you so that you can basically have another crack at life. And
well, yeah, so usually, I don't know why you separate them into like two different things. Usually you'll go on dialysis until you can get a healthy kidney. That's kind of how that works. And I think you take like medication as well.
So for someone like EDP445, if he wanted to go down the route of having a kidney transplant, he may even have to wait like years before he could find a legitimate kidney that could come to him and actually help save his life or make his life better in any way. So either option that can...
And they'll usually force you to like adhere to a lot of different rules. Like I don't think you're allowed to drink alcohol the entire time. I think you have to be off booze to be on the list.
Really be used to treat this stage 5 kidney disease doesn't really have a great outlook, you know what I mean? Either A, he's just kind of extending the inevitable where, he might get a couple more years out of life before he eventually passes away from the damage, or he's going to have to potentially wait years before he can get a healthy kidney donated to him unless he finds...
I mean, it's a win-win, right? Like...
the damage, or he's going to have to potentially wait, might get a couple more years out of life before he's just kind of extending the inevitable where, he might get a couple more years out of life before he eventually passes away from the damage, or he's going to have to potentially wait years before he can get a healthy kidney donated to him unless he finds...
Again, like, I think this A is... He split it into dialysis versus finding a new kidney. You would do both of these in conjunction. You would go on dialysis until you found a kidney, basically. You might even go on it afterwards. I don't really know. But okay.
And someone willing to donate it and like...
Hey, best case scenario, guys, he suffers for a few more years.
I guess bypass the whole list. But usually that doesn't really happen. It's pretty hard to find someone who's just willing to give up a kidney like that and just willing, especially to someone like EDP445. Like this guy is well known across the internet for basically being a pedophile. Like there's video evidence of it. He's been exposed numerous times for it, right? Like it's going to be hard for this guy to find, I feel like, someone who's going to want to give him a kidney, especially if they do even a shred of like background info, like checks on him, I guess. Because I mean, you just look the guy's name up and you're going to have thousands of YouTube videos exposing the guy, all the evidence and everything coming up, right? Like both ways don't really look great for him, right? And people online, now that the news is starting to kind of break and like it's starting to make its rounds and whatnot, right? People are like celebrating, they're like, oh, fucking EDP445 pack in the air, he's going to die.
I still don't get the whole EDP445 pack.
I LOL. Now, I feel pretty conflicted on this because I really understand people on both sides of it, but basically, on one hand, you have people who are like, you shouldn't wish death on people, even if they do terrible things, right? Like, that's not really
why
something you should wish on somebody.
I mean, I don't care about EDP, but fuck it. I don't care. I wish absolute death upon my father.
AVM, you super chatted $4.99.
What's up, brother?
Papa got Merry Christmas.
Thank you so much. I'm just kidding, guys, even though he's a deadbeat scumbag. Thank you so much for the $5, brother. Merry Christmas. Papa Noel. Okay.
He doesn't deserve to die. Then on the other hand, you have people who...
Well, I mean, wishing death upon somebody is different from thinking they deserve to die, guys.
Who are like, once again, we don't... Who gives a fuck, right? Like, he's a pedophile. Why would I care that, a pedophile's gonna die? Now, for me personally, right, like, I heard the news, and, like, I'm not sitting around like, oh, wow, I hope EDP445 dies from kidney failure, right? Like, it's just not really me, man. I don't know. Like, it just sounds like a really shitty way to die, right? And I feel like the karma of doing something like that can really kind of come back, and, I don't know. At the end of the day, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, I'm glad he's dying or anything, right? Because that just doesn't feel right, but I definitely understand people who are, people who are celebrating the news. Like, at the end of the day, this guy's a fucking pedophile, you know what I mean? And, like, I don't even use that word lightly. He literally admitted it, basically, and there's video of it, bro. He tried to groom and meet a 13-year-old for sex in an apartment complex. Like, at that point, you can't...
Oh, just a cupcake, dude. What are you talking about?
Come back from that, man. So people who are like celebrating that he has kidney disease and like wishing death on him, I get why people are doing it, especially because, a lot of people are victims of those kinds of things, sexual assault and especially childhood sexual abuse. So it's not a surprise that so many people I feel like are like happy that this dude is on the verge of death or whatever. But for me personally, I'm not going to sit here and like throw a party about it. It's a guy that
I'm going to have an EDP445 kidney failure party, guys. January 17th at 7 p.m. Yes. That's the EDP445 kidney failure disease party. Kidney disease failure. Stage 5 kidney disease party. Okay, guys? That's what's going to... And we're not going to drink alcohol there because we don't want our kidneys to fail.
that I've never met on the internet dying of kidney disease, you know what I mean? It really has no impact on my life whether he lives or dies. I'm just, like, it may sound a little cold or harsh, but that's just the truth. Like, this guy's not my fucking friend. He's not part of my family. I don't know this guy in real life. Like, if he were to die, it wouldn't be like, you know, my life would be personally affected. So I don't really care either way. It just kind of sucks for him, right? Because he's in the position where, like, his life is legitimately in danger type shit. But I more or less just kind of understand both sides, right? It really just is about personal preference, right? Like, if you hope that he dies, or you think it's funny or whatever, or you think that it's karma coming back to get him, I really don't blame you, because, like, he really did some pretty unforgivable, inexcusable shit. And then the big thing about it is, like, he's just shown absolutely no remorse. Like, he hasn't made any effort to, like, change, go to, like, counseling for it or anything, right? He just kind of, like, accepted the fact that he's a pedophile and, like, has just tried to, like, sneak his way back into the limelight over all this time and basically make a name for himself again and give himself a platform again, even though, you know, he's pretty much banned off, like, YouTube and stuff like that. They took his channel down, but he's been trying to come back, you know, on, like, Instagram and other platforms and whatnot. But
Yeah, TikTok. He's pretty big on TikTok.
there's also another thing that people are saying that I think is also very intriguing too, and that is the questioning people have, right? Because obviously EDP445 has not shown himself to be a very trustworthy person.
Oh, you're saying that he might be doing it for clout? I mean, maybe. Probably not, but whatever.
You know, he basically
Maybe for sympathy. We talked about this already. The thing is I'm pretty sure. So if you watch, if you've gone through all the information, I don't know if Optimus has, like, looked into everything. I have, obviously. In that video I mentioned, the last EDP allegation thing, he was apparently venting to that 18-year-old girl. This one right here. New EDP allegations at this one. She mentions it to the guy, Master of Work, inside the video. That he's, like, venting privately to her about how he's going through, like, a kidney issue. So I doubt that this is just some kind of performative clout grab.
has tried to defend himself at every turn, considering the shit that he did in the past, right? And he just seems to have no remorse for it or any care at all, really, for it. He kind of just seems to be in his own world, not giving a shit about, like, what people think about that, which it's whatever, man. Like, if you don't want to care that people know you're a pedophile, like, it doesn't make you look any better. But that's the big thing, too, is, like,
I don't think anything can make him look any better. He's something else, man.
Like, he obviously doesn't have a very good moral compass. You know what I mean? Like, this is a guy, he's literally a fucking pedophile.
I mean, all he has is cum and piss, bro. And shit in the toilet. Shows everybody his fucking cum, piss, and shit. You see, that's disgusting. He thought a girl was 13. He thought the sexiest thing he could do was show her a picture of his fucking dump in the toilet. And then showed his fucking penis to the person. It looked like the hooded Klansman. It's fucking crazy. You see that thing? It looks like a goddamn yam. It's incredible. I'm not trying to be shaming. I'm not body shaming, but, you know, I think it's acceptable to body shame here. Just take care of yourself. You're disgusting, you know? This fucking nasty ass motherfucker.
There's no way around it. So it's not like he's really morally conscious or anything like that. It's not like this is a good person, somebody who would never do something bad, right? So there's also people out there questioning whether or not essentially that he's lying and making this up for a couple different reasons, right? Now, one of those reasons could be he just wants sympathy, right? After everything that's happened, after his career is basically over with now, he's never really ever going to be back in the same position that he was in at one point in time, right?
Yeah. Well, I bet that's, you know, I bet the position, I don't know. Just...
People think
Let's make a dumb joke.
that maybe he's doing this just to play the sympathy card, right? Like a woe is me kind of thing. Oh, feel bad for me, the pedophile, because I have stage 5 kidney failure. Just completely lying about it. No one really knows, right? Because from what I've seen, you know, he didn't show like any test results or like any physical or really any proof at all. You know, he just kind of said it in passing on an Instagram live. So is it possible that
Well, if anything, that would make it more... I know that what you're saying is that he didn't show any proof, so that raises questions to you, but... I think that most people, the fact that he just mentioned in passing and didn't make a whole video specifically about that would suggest that it's actually happening.
EP445 is lying for sympathy, I would not totally be surprised, but there is another reason why people think that he might actually be lying about this, and it makes sense. But basically, people are speculating that he might be lying about having kidney failure so that he can eventually try and like garner donations and like sympathy funds from the people who still support him. And I know
maybe
to the like a normal person that sounds crazy, like there's people who still support EDP445, but you got to think in that live, if you look up at the top right, there were 1,200 people in that Instagram live.
Yeah, a lot of them probably hate viewers. Like I said, that the last scandal where like an 18-year-old girl tried to cancel him, people are going to look at it and go, oh, look, if this is what this one was, maybe the last one was lied too, especially since most people haven't like gone through all the specific stuff. So yeah, people are empathetic to EDP. A lot of people don't care. So especially since a lot of them are young kids and they just don't give a shit. They don't really understand like how bad this kind of stuff is.
There were people in the comments, you know, hyping him up. Oh, we love you, EDP. You know, he still has fans.
If he had stage 5 kidney failure, be in the hospital fighting for his life. I'm not sure if that's true. I'm sure he would go to the hospital. But I don't think that means that you'd be stuck in the hospital. I don't know if that's true. Stage 5 kidney means your kidneys are getting very close to failure or have already failed. Kidney failure is also called end-stage renal disease. End-stage kidney failure. If your kidneys fail, you need to start on dialysis or have a kidney transplant to live. Yeah, so he wouldn't be in the hospital permanently. If your kidneys fail, you have to start dialysis. Usually you do dialysis on like about, I think it's 3 or 4 days per week. So he wouldn't be like stuck in the hospital just because he has stage 5. That means like his kidneys have either failed. Is he jaundiced? That's a good question. I think jaundice means that he has yellow eyes, right? All his piss goes into his eyes, basically.
All right,
I guess I'll try to find the. I don't remember the bit where EDP was live. Here we go. Let's see.
Stage 5.
now for the
Yeah, I actually do have kidney failure.
not
Good. I don't know though. I'll see if I can find it.
fans. There's still people out there who basically deny that he did anything wrong, which I don't know how they could, considering there's so much proof that he did something wrong, but there are still people out there that support him, and now people are questioning whether or not he's essentially lying to people so that maybe he can try and get some donations, try and scrape together a little money off of sympathy or whatever.
I don't think he's got jaundice is when your eyes turn yellow, right? Peepee eyes is what I like to call it. Is that what it's called? The jaundice. Jaundice is a condition where which the skin whites of the eyes and mucous membranes turn yellow because of high level of biliration, a yellow-orange a biliration or whatever. It doesn't look like he's jaundiced. His kidneys probably haven't quite failed yet. They're probably close to failure then. Or maybe he's overreacting to it. That's a good point. Yeah. Okay.
Once again, man, I would be totally not surprised. Like, I mean, this is once again somebody who just doesn't really care about morality, someone who doesn't care about being a good person, really. So it's really just a big confusing situation.
Oh, we have Kat in here. You have to tell me, Kat. You know, you telling me the other day I was wrong about you. You're a doctor. You know, girl. You tell me. All right, you're my fact checker now. All right, my doctor fact checker.
And at the end of the day, you know, if he does have stage 5 kidney failure like he's saying he does, it's obviously a very serious situation, but I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say, so let me know down in the comments below. But with that being said, thank
All I have to say is LOL.
you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel, follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shoptimus down below. Thank you to my Watch Optimus subscribers. Your support helps the channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, talking about EDP445's kidney failure and signing out.
Based. Okay, cool. What is this? Cool. Okay, yeah. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, well, we'll see if his skin turns to piss soon.
I want Papa Gut to pee on my face, but just as a friend. There's nothing weird about that. I want him to pee on my face.